Hello, we're gonna be doing Lab 4 for embedded systems. So for the hardware connection, it's just gonna be the ESP32 integrated red LED on board. For the Hall sensor and temperature sensor, it's already integrated on the ESP32, so it doesn't require a GPIO. Regarding what are we gonna do today is Internet of Things type of practice. So what we're gonna do first is just gonna connect to the Wi-Fi. Here we're defining the Wi-Fi that we're connecting to, and we're gonna use ThinkSpeak. So we have here the API key, which in ThinkSpeak you can get it from here, and then from there you just put that information so we can do the rest of the client for the ESP32. So first we're gonna define the function to connect to Wi-Fi. We did this last lab, so I just copy and paste that. And then from there, we're gonna do the ThinkSpeak function, which basically what I'm doing is defining the path, which it came on the ThinkSpeak API key. And from there, what I'm trying to do, I'm just trying to get a connection from the ThinkSpeak. And then I am going to send the data that I am printing. In this case, it's gonna be the temperature data and the Hall sensor to the ThinkSpeak server. So in this case, we're doing the connection. We're gonna communicate, send data, receive a response just to ensure that ThinkSpeak received it, and then we're gonna close the communication. And from here, we just have a timer callback, which basically is just sending the data of the temperature and the Hall sensor, and then here we're calling the ThinkSpeak function here. And from here, we're gonna define the client function, which basically what I'm doing is connected to the Wi-Fi, and then I'm using the hardware timer. And then from here, we're gonna do that every 30 seconds. It's gonna call back the timer read, and the timer read is gonna send the ThinkSpeak to the information to the ThinkSpeak. And here I have a time.sleep, which basically is that in 5 minutes, I'm gonna sleep our ESP32, and then I'm gonna deinitialize the hardware timer just to avoid it, take it to infinity and avoid any type of mistakes. And then I just run the program client, which client has timer read, and then timer read has sent ThinkSpeak. So basically that's our program. If I run it here, we're gonna get it, and then if we go over here, we're gonna see the values being reflected. For this is a demonstration, I'm gonna stop it right now, and then I'm gonna go for the next part, which is gonna be the ESP server. So for this part, we're gonna do similarly the same thing. I'm gonna play it from here. We're gonna go connect to the Wi-Fi, and here's where we define the GPIO output for our red LED that is integrated on the board. And then this is a template that was provided for this lab. I'm just initializing the values of the temperature and the Hall sensor. And the red LED state, I'm defining it as off. And then from here, we're just gonna connect to the Wi-Fi, same thing as we did in the previous part. And here's the part of the server. So now our ESP32 is gonna access the server, so we need to create the server. So for this, we're just gonna define the values. We're just gonna use the universal numbers for unencrypted HTTP. And here, just put 2 connections. So I tested my laptop and my phone, which worked correctly. And then I'm just gonna do an infinite loop, which I'm just waiting for any input from the HTTP server. So it can be, refreshing the web page or clicking red LED on or LED off, and that would update all these values. And then I also got a quick bug, which was happening. I just tried to use the request to define the red LED on and off, but I think it mixes up like all the values of the line. So I split it up. And now when I click, it is so much more stable. So yeah, I would recommend doing this. The request divided by line and just getting the real, like the values that we are interested in getting here. And then, yeah, I would just read the values from the ESP32, the temperature, the Hall sensor, and we send that to the HTTP. And then we run the program. So how does that look here? I just go to the web server. I'm gonna press red on. And then as we can see here, it takes a little time, but here's the red LED on. If I press red on again, it just updates the values of the Hall sensor. If I press one time red off, it should turn it off, as you can see, and then it's there. And then I will press red on, red off, red on, and then yeah. So basically this is the lab that we're using for this. And yeah, that's basically it. Thank you so much for your time.